This video is about she was his healer, but her touch was forbidden. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The moon hung low in the sky, casting a silver glow over the sprawling forest of Eldergrove. The scent of pine mingled with the bracing autumn air as tendrils of mist slithered through the trees. This was home to the Varan pack, known throughout the realm for their fierce loyalty and powerful alphas. Yet, nestled within the heart of the pack was a secret that could unravel everything. Leora sat in her healer-esque cottage, her hands trembling as she prepared an infusion of herbs. She was the pack's healer, an Omega whose gentle spirit had earned her the respect of the Varan, but her heart was burdened with a pain that ran deeper than any wound she could mend. That evening, the pack had gathered for a moonlit ceremony to honor their fallen warriors. The air was thick with anticipation, the wolf's instincts heightened, their energy palpable. As she set the brew to simmer, Leora closed her eyes, letting the vibrations of the night pulse through her. She could feel their emotions, their fears, their hopes. A sharp knock at the door startled her from her thoughts. She opened it to find Kale, the alpha of the Varan pack, standing tall and imposing. His dark hair framed a chiseled face, eyes like molten gold flickering with the fire of the wild. Her breath caught in her throat. He was a force of nature, a beacon of strength. "Leora," he said, his voice a low rumble that sent warmth flooding through her. "I need your help." "Of course, Alpha. What is wrong?" Her heart raced. The weight of their stations pressed heavily between them. He was her alpha, her leader, and she was merely the healer, bound by duty. Kale stepped inside, his gaze lingering on her with a mix of worry and something deeper, something forbidden. "It is Merc. He was injured during the hunt. I need you to come quickly." With a nod, she gathered her supplies, her mind racing. Merc was a loyal warrior, a fierce protector of the pack. As she followed Kale through the woods, their surroundings seemed to pulse with tension, the trees whispering secrets she feared to uncover. Once they reached the pack's named camp, a flicker of chaos met them. Merc lay on the ground, a deep gash staining his shirt a crimson red. The pack circled around him, their howls echoing in the night, filled with worry and urgency. Kale knelt beside Merc, his hand resting on the wounded warrior's shoulder. "Stay with me, Merc. Leora will fix you up." His tone was commanding, but laced with a tenderness that surprised Leora. She dropped to her knees beside Merc, her fingers brushing against his injury. The moment she touched him, a surge of energy pulsed through her. She could feel the pain radiating from his wound, but something else tugged at her, a connection that both thrilled and terrified her. "Leora," Merc gasped, his eyes flickering with pain. "I didn't think." Her focus sharpened as she began to weave her magic through the herbs, chanting softly, her voice barely above a whisper. "Hold on, Merc, just a little longer." Kale's gaze never left her, a fierce protectiveness emanating from him. The air crackled with unspoken tension, each moment stretching into eternity. They were bound by duty, yet an undeniable chemistry simmered in the space between them. As Leora worked, her heart ached with the realization of her feelings for Kale. He was everything she could never have, a powerful alpha destined to lead the pack, while she was just an Omega, a healer with no rank or right to claim him. She dared not dream. When she finished, Merc's wound was closed, but the shadows of pain still lingered in his eyes. "You saved me, Leora," he murmured, gratitude flooding his words. Kale stood, looking down at Merc with a mix of pride and worry. "Get some rest, you stubborn wolf. You'll be back on your feet soon." Merc nodded, resting against a tree. The pack dispersed slowly, but Kale lingered, his gaze locked on Leora, a silent conversation passing between them. "Your gift is incredible," he finally said, his voice husky with unspoken emotion. "You saved him." "I only did what was expected of me," she replied, turning away, unwilling to let the longing in her heart surface. "Healing is my duty. I don't belittle your power, Leora." His voice softened, deepening into something intimate. "You have a light that shines even in the darkness." Her heart fluttered at his words, but she was acutely aware of the boundaries they could never cross. "It is not my place to shine in the presence of an alpha," she whispered, her voice trembling. "We have our roles for a reason." Kale moved closer, the distance between them charged. "Then what if my role is to defy expectations?" Leora's breath caught. She could feel the wolf inside her stirring, yearning for the connection she craved. But the weight of pack hierarchy hung heavy in the air, pulling them apart. "Kale, you can tea." "I have every right to choose," he interrupted, his eyes fierce yet filled with longing. "You heal my pack, but you heal me more than you know. Every moment I am near you, I feel it." The intensity of his gaze forced her to confront the storm of emotions swelling within her. "But I am not a..." Not what? His voice lowered, a gentle challenge. Not worthy, not destined for something more. Our fates are intertwined, Leora. Tears pricked at her eyes as she stepped back, the ache in her heart growing unbearable. This is forbidden, Kale, you know that. The pack would never accept it. He took a step forward, closing the distance again. What if I don't care about their acceptance? What if I care about you? You don't say things you don't mean, she whispered, shaking her head. You are destined for a mate, Kale, not me. His expression darkened momentarily, a flash of frustration crossing his features. My heart doesn't care about destiny, he said, his voice strained. It cares about you. Leora's heart shattered at the weight of his words. The world around them faded as the pull between them intensified, but deep within, she knew the truth. They were both bound to their fates, and their paths were not meant to intertwine. Before she could respond, a howl echoed through the night, sharp and urgent. Kale shifted instantly, his alpha instincts taking over. It's the call of the moon, I must go. Wait. Leora reached for him, but he stepped back, the pack as duty pulling him away. Kale, please. I have to protect my pack, he said, his voice cracking with a mixture of pain and resolve. But this isn't over, Leora, not by a long shot. And with that, he was gone, swallowed by the shadows of the forest, leaving her heart heavy and divided. As Leora stood alone in the fading moonlight, tears slipped down her cheeks. Their connection was powerful, electric, but the world forced barriers between them. In that moment, beneath the watchful gaze of the moon, Leora realized that love could be both a curse and a blessing, a tether binding her to a destiny she never dared to dream of. And she was left wondering if she would ever have the courage to break free of the chains tying her to her fate. The moon's silver light illuminated Leora's street face as she pulled herself back to reality. She was still standing in the clearing, surrounded by the lingering energy of the pack, but Kale had vanished into the depths of the elder grove. The ache in her chest throbbed like an open wound. A rustle in the underbrush pulled her from her thoughts. Mek approached, his expression a mixture of gratitude and concern. Leora, are you all right? He asked, his voice gentle yet firm. You did an incredible job tonight. She forced a smile, brushing away the remnants of her tears. I just did what I was trained to do, she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. The praise felt hollow compared to the emotional tumult churning within her. Mek studied her, his sharp warrior-esque gaze softening. You know, Kale chose you for a reason. He trusts you with his life, with all of our lives. Leora looked away, unable to meet his eyes. That doesn't matter. The bond between an alpha and an omega is complicated. I can be what he needs. Are you sure about that? Mek pressed, stepping closer. What if there is more to this? What if you were not just a healer to him, but something deeper? His eyes glimmered with understanding, as if he could see the truth she was too afraid to acknowledge. The weight of his words seeped into her, clashing against her instincts to deny them. It is forbidden, she whispered, the very thought sending a shiver through her. The pack hierarchy dictates everything. If Kale were to choose me, it would cause chaos. Would it? Merrick challenged, his brows furrowing. You are strong, Leora. Your gift is rare. Kale sees he sees you. He paused, a sly smile creeping onto his lips. I think he loves you. Leora's heart raced at the suggestion, but fear gripped her throat. Stop it, Merrick. You don't understand. Love isn't a luxury we can afford. Merrick's expression turned serious. You underestimate the power of love, Leora. It can unite or destroy, depending on how you wield it, but running from it, that will only lead to loneliness and regret. With a heavy sigh, Leora turned away, staring into the dark woods. Shadows danced between the trees, and she felt the weight of fate crushing her spirit. It doesn't matter, she said, her voice thick with emotion. Kale is an alpha. He has a duty to his pack, and I am just a healer. Just a healer? Mek echoed incredulously. You think your role is any less important. You mend our wounds, both physical and emotional. You give us strength. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. And you give Kale strength too. Before she could respond, a distant howl cut through the night, urgent and haunting. Mek's expression shifted, and he shifted to stand more alert. That sounds like trouble. I have to go. Be careful, Leora urged, her heart racing at the thought of losing another pack member to the dangers of the wild. Mek nodded, sprinting into the shadows, leaving her alone once more. As the moon climbed higher, Leora's thoughts spiraled around Kale. She could still feel the warmth of his gaze, the weight of his words. What would happen if he truly chose her? Would the pack rally behind them, or would it tear them apart? The night stretched endlessly as she waited in solitude, lost in the turmoil of her own heart. But as the howl of the moon echoed through the trees, an unfamiliar energy coursed through her, one that resonated deep within her very soul. It was a call beckoning her to the heart of the woods. Driven by an instinct she couldn't ignore, Leora followed the sound, her breath quickening. She maneuvered through the undergrowth, the sharp scent of earth and pine filling her senses. The air grew colder, and a shiver crept down her spine as she approached a clearing bathed in moonlight. There, beneath the luminous orb, stood Kale, his silhouette striking against the night. He was deep in conversation with another wolf, her dark fur blending seamlessly into the shadows. Leora's heart sank as she recognized the figure of Alina, the ambitious speed of the pack. Kale's voice cut through the air, filled with frustration. "You can't just decide what's best for the pack without consulting me first, Alina." Alina's response dripped with disdain. "You are too distracted by your feelings for the healer to see the bigger picture. We need strength, Kale, and Leora is a weakness. She is not one of us." The words struck Leora like a physical blow. Weakness? She was healing them. She was their strength. But the deeper wound lay in the realization of Kale's distraction, and the truth of Alina's words stung like poison. Kale's voice hardened, cutting through her distress. "Leora is not a weakness. She is more powerful than you realize. Her gift is what keeps our pack strong." "Is it her gift, or is it you who is blinded by infatuation?" Alina retorted, stepping closer, her presence menacing. "You can't afford to let your heart dictate your decisions, Alpha." Leora's breath caught in her throat, and she felt the weight of their conversation settle around her like a dark cloud. Guilt surged within her as she took a step back, ready to retreat into the safety of the shadows. But Kale's voice soared above the turmoil, raw and unwavering. "My heart is not a liability, Alina. It is where my strength lies. Leora is my choice. I will not let anyone dictate whom I love." Something inside Leora shattered at his declaration, simultaneously igniting a flicker of hope. But it was quickly overshadowed by the chaos that followed. Alina's eyes darkened, and her voice dripped with venom. "Then you are a fool, Kale. You will lead us to ruin." With that, she turned, storming away into the woods, leaving an unsettling silence in her wake. Leora's heart raced, caught between the surge of emotions and the need to confront Kale. "Kale," she whispered, stepping into the clearing, her voice trembling. He turned, surprise flickering in his eyes before it melted into something softer, something deeper. "Leora," he breathed, closing the distance between them. "You shouldn't have heard that." "No," she said, her voice shaking. "But I can't ignore it. You are risking everything, Kale. Your pack, your future." "Leora," he said, reaching for her, his fingers brushing against her arm, igniting a spark between them. "What I feel for you is not a risk, it is a necessity. You are part of me." The air between them pulsed, thick with longing and desperation. "But can't you see what it could cost?" she urged, her heart racing as she struggled against the pull of their connection. "Alina was right about one thing. I am not a part of your world." His expression darkened, frustration spilling over. "And what if I choose to defy that? What if I refuse to let them dictate my heart?" "Don't be reckless," she pleaded, stepping back, the distance between them both comforting and painful. "You are the Alpha. You have responsibilities." "And my responsibility is to protect the ones I love," he said fiercely, his eyes burning with a determination that sent shivers down her spine. "And that includes you, Leora." The intensity of his gaze made her heart race, but doubt crept in, threatening to extinguish the flame they shared. "You don't understand what you are asking. You could lose everything." "Everything means nothing if I can't have you," he replied, his voice softening, vulnerability threading through his words. "You are my light in the darkness." Tears blurred her vision as confusion and desire clashed within her. "Kale, Before she could finish, he stepped closer, his breath warm against her skin. "I want to let fear dictate our future. Together, we can change the pack. Together, we can be stronger." Leora's heart raced, the weight of destiny pressing down upon her. Would she dare to take a leap into the unknown, to embrace a love that could shatter the very foundation of their world? Or would she retreat back into the shadows, letting fear dictate her fate? "Kale," she whispered, her voice trembling with uncertainty, yet filled with undeniable longing. "Trust your heart, Leora," he breathed, his forehead nearly touching hers. "I will fight for us. Will you fight for us too?" The world around them faded, and in that moment everything hung in the balance. Love, danger, and destiny intertwined, igniting a spark that could either save them or doom them both. "Together," she said, a whisper of hope breaking through the storm of uncertainty. "Together." As the moon bathed them in its silver glow, Leora felt the barriers begin to dissolve. For better or worse, she was ready to embrace the unknown, to step into a destiny forged from love, a love destined to change everything. The moon hung high above Eldergrove, its light weaving through the branches like threads of silver. Laura stood at the edge of the clearing, her heart thundering in her chest as the weight of Kale's words settled around them. Together, the promise echoed between them, shimmering like the stars scattered across the night sky. But as she looked into his molten gold eyes, she felt the enormity of their decision. The world around them felt more fragile than ever, and the forest whispered warnings that lingered in her mind. Kale stepped back, his hand slipping from her grasp, a shadow creeping back into his expression. "You are uncertain," he said, his voice thick with understanding. "I can feel it, Leora." "No." She shook her head fiercely, frustration bubbling within her. "I want to believe in us, in this destiny, but I am terrified of what it could mean for you and for the pack. What if we fail?" His gaze remained steady, a mixture of determination and tenderness. "Failure is part of the journey, Leora, but I refuse to let fear dictate our love. You are my mate. Together, we can forge a new path for our pack." The moonlight cast a halo around him, making him look like a warrior of old, and her heart surged with hope. But doubt clawed at her thoughts, a dark spectre that refused to leave. "You speak of a new path, but what of Elena? She won't sit idly by while we disrupt the hierarchy. She sees weakness where I see strength." Kale's jaw clenched, anger flashing in his eyes. "Then we will confront her together. I will not allow anyone to stand in the way of what we have. You deserve to be recognized for who you are, Leora." Her stomach churned as she thought of the consequences, each possibility more daunting than the last. "And if the pack turns against you, if they see me as a threat, you could lose everything." "I would rather lose everything than lose you," he declared fiercely. "You are not a threat. You are my greatest strength." His fingers gently brushed her cheek, igniting a warmth that spread through her. The connection between them was undeniable, a bond forged through shared struggles and dreams. Yet as she looked into Kale's eyes, she could see the weight of his responsibilities, the shadows of doubt lurking behind the fierce determination. "You are an alpha, Kale. There are expectations you must uphold." "Then let us challenge those expectations," he urged, his voice low and earnest. "We can redefine what it means to be a pack. Together, we can show them that love is stronger than hierarchy." Tears threatened to spill as she took a step back, overwhelmed by the intensity of the moment. "You make it sound so simple, but the reality is filled with complexities we can't ignore. The bond of an alpha is sacred. I am just an omega." His eyes softened, a fierce protectiveness rising within him. "You are not just anything. You are Leora, my healer, my light. I will not let anyone belittle your worth." The passion in his voice stirred something deep within her, but the fear of the unknown lingered like a shadow. "Kale, what if we can change the pack? What if they refuse to accept us?" "We will make them accept us," he vowed, his expression unwavering. "Even if it takes every ounce of my strength, I need you by my side. Together, we can navigate this chaos." The resolve in his eyes ignited a flicker of determination within her as well. Could they truly reshape the fate of the Varian pack? Leora felt the whispers of the forest, the pulse of her wolf unraveling as the moonlight illuminated the truth hidden in her heart. "I want to fight for us," she said, her voice steadier now. "But I am afraid of the cost." Kale took her hands, squeezing them gently. "Love demands courage, Leora. The road ahead will not be easy, but we will face it together. Trust in what we have." In that moment, as the stars blinked down upon them, she felt a shift within her, resolve hardening like iron. "I trust you, Kale. I trust us." He grinned, a spark of joy igniting his features. "Then let us show the pack what true strength looks like." As they shared a tender moment, the peaceful atmosphere shattered by an unfamiliar howl that echoed through the night, sharp with urgency. Kale's expression transformed from joy to grim focus. "That doesn't sound good." Leora's heart raced as she turned toward the sound, a sense of foreboding washing over her. "What was that?" "It could be a threat to the pack," he replied, already shifting into his wolf form. "Stay close, we need to move." With a blend of fear and excitement, Leora shifted alongside him, feeling the transformation wash over her. The world sharpened into vivid hues, the sense of the forest flooding her senses as they raced through the underbrush together. They reached the border of their territory, the air thick with tension. A lone wolf stood there, his fur stark contrast against the dark trees. He was a rogue, an outsider venturing too close to Varian packland. Kale growled low, protective instincts flaring. "What do you want, rogue?" The wolf's eyes glinted with mischief and malice. "I come seeking the alpha. I have news that could tip the balance of power." Leora's heart pounded as she caught Kale's sidelong glance. "What news?" The rogue smirked, as if enjoying the chaos he ignited. I know of a plot within your own pack, the betrayal that could destroy everything you hold dear. Kale stepped forward, bristling with anger. Speak plainly, or leave this territory. I will not tolerate threats against my pack. The rogue laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the trees. Very well. Alina seeks to take your position as alpha. She believes you are weak for loving the healer. She has gathered allies and intends to confront you at the next full moon. Laura gasped, her heart plummeting. No, it can't be. Kale's expression darkened, fury and disbelief clashing in his eyes. She would betray me, after everything we've rebuilt? Her ambition knows no bounds, the rogue taunted. You be made holoqueak, as she has not one to forgive. As the words sank in, Laura felt a chilling sense of urgency. We have to warn the pack. We can't let this happen. Kale's gaze was like steel, unwavering, but filled with an unspoken pain. We will confront Alina before she can rally anyone against us. We must unite the pack behind us, Laura. Nodding, she felt a surge of adrenaline course through her. Together, they would not allow fear to reign. Let us go. As they raced back toward the heart of the pack, determination fueled their steps. The stakes were higher than ever, and the threat of betrayal loomed over them like a dark cloud. With every beat of her heart, Liora felt the weight of their love, a fierce flame against the night. When they reached the main camp, the pack was gathered, murmurs of unease swelling among them. Kale stood tall, his presence commanding. Listen, he called out, his voice cutting through the tension. We have a situation that requires immediate attention. The pack silenced, all eyes on him, a blend of loyalty and skepticism swelling among them. Alina has conspired against me, against our pack. She seeks to take my place and destroy what we've rebuilt together. Gasps rippled through the crowd, uncertainty clinging to the air like fog. How do you know this? One of the warriors shouted, Dow coloring his tone. A rogue delivered this information, Kale replied, his gaze sharp. But it doesn't matter how I know. What matters is that we come together now. We need to stand united against this threat. Leora's heart raced, the weight of the moment pressing down on her. She stepped forward, her voice steady and clear. Kale is right. We have faced many challenges, and it is love and loyalty that have kept us strong. We cannot allow betrayal to tear us apart. The pack murmured, exchanging wary glances. But one voice rose above the others. You want us to trust a healer? Alina stepped forward, her presence commanding. She has no place here. Kale's expression hardened, his protectiveness flaring. She has more place here than you realize, Alina. She is my mate. Together, we can reshape our future. Your feelings have blinded you, Kale, Alina sneered, her eyes glinting with malice. She will bring nothing but chaos to our ranks. Laura felt the weight of Alina's disdain like a physical blow, but she stood firm. Love is not chaos, it is the heart of our pack. I have healed you all, and I will continue to do so, for as long as you allow have me. A murmur of agreement rippled through the pack, a flicker of support igniting among them. Kale took a step closer. We must choose unity over division. I ask you to stand with me, to stand with Leora. The tension in the clearing grew palpable, the moonlight casting long shadows across the faces of the Varian pack. Leora stood beside Kale, her heart racing as the murmurs of doubt and disbelief echoed around them. Delina loomed at the forefront, her presence dark and imposing, ready to challenge everything they had fought for. Kale, she spat, her voice like ice. You allow this healer to speak for you? This is madness. She cannot be trusted. Leora bristled at the insult, but Kale's hand found hers, squeezing it gently, a silent promise that he wouldn't let her face this alone. She has earned the trust of our pack through her actions, Alina, Kale replied, his voice steady and strong. While you plot behind our backs. Plot? Is that what you call it? Alina's laugh was sharp, filled with contempt. I merely seek to uphold the strength of our pack. You have become soft, distracted by your feelings. You think love can save us. It can save us from ourselves. Kale shot back, his eyes blazing with conviction. But not if we let betrayal fester among us. As the murmurs grew louder, Leora felt the swell of courage, the echoes of Kale's unwavering faith igniting something fierce within her. I have healed the wounds of this pack, she said, raising her voice to break through the clamoring doubts. I have fought alongside you all. Love is not a weakness. It is our greatest strength. But you are not one of us, Alina sneered, stepping closer, her eyes narrowing. You are just an Omega, playing healer while we fight for survival. Leora's heart sank, her breath hitching at the weight of Alina's disdain. I may be an Omega, but my heart beats for this pack. I heal you because I care. I stand beside Kale because I believe in him and in us. Kale's grip tightened around her hand, his gaze unwavering. And I believe in Leora. I will not let anyone tear apart the bond we've reforged. If you think I am weak for loving her, then you've lost sight of what it means to lead. Elena's expression twisted, a mixture of anger and desperation. You are full, Kale. If you continue down this path, you will drag us all into chaos. I will not stand by and watch you destroy our pack. Leora could see the fire of resolve in Kale's eyes, but doubt flickered within her like a candle's flame, fragile against the storm. Kale, she murmured, feeling the weight of the moment. What if she is right? What if our love brings division? He turned to her, his expression softening. Our love is not the problem, it's the fear of it that breeds division. We have to fight for what we believe in together. Before Leora could respond, a howl pierced the night, sharp and mournful. The sound sent chills racing down her spine. Kale's head snapped toward the woods, instinct taking over. We have to be ready. As the pack stirred, Elena's expression shifted to one of cunning. If there is danger approaching, perhaps it is the perfect moment to test your precious bond. Kale, stand with your healer and see how far your love can truly protect you. Kale's eyes burned with a mixture of fury and protectiveness. Enough, Elena. I will not let you manipulate the situation. We will face whatever comes together. Leora could feel the tension crackling in the air, a tangible weight that pressed down upon her. Kale, what if we re-outmatched? What if we can protect the pack? Her voice trembled with the fear that gripped her heart. We have each other, he replied, his gaze steady and fierce. That is more than enough. As if summoned by their fear, a group of rogue wolves emerged from the trees, their eyes gleaming with malice and hunger. The tension shifted again, morphing into something primal as the pack instinctively fell into formation around Kale and Leora. They were outnumbered, but the fierce loyalty of the Varin pack shone through. Kale's commanding presence surged to the forefront. Stay close to me, Leora. We will protect each other. The rogue leader stepped forward, a savage grin spreading across his face. So, the mighty Alpha has found a healer to hide behind. Pathetic. Why don't you hand over your precious Omega and spare yourself the trouble? Leora's heart raced as Kale growled, a deep, primal sound that sent shivers through her. You will not touch her. I will defend my pack to the death. The rogue chuckled darkly, his eyes glinting with malevolence. You think you can protect them all. You are a fool to think love will save you now. Kale stepped forward, a shield of strength and determination. Love is our greatest weapon. I will not let you harm what is mine. Leora felt a surge of gratitude and fierce loyalty toward him, but the rogue's words echoed in her mind, a haunting reminder of the fragility of their bond. Kale, we have to be smart, she urged, the need to strategize flooding her thoughts. We can't let them provoke us. But before she could voice her plan, the rogue lunged at Kale, teeth bared. In an instant, chaos erupted. The pack leaped into action, warriors attacking with raw ferocity, their instincts ignited. Leora felt her heart race as she shifted into her wolf form, joining the fight. She fought alongside her packmates, weaving through the chaos, her senses sharp and alive. Each movement felt fluid, electrifying, as she dodged and attacked, protecting those she loved. But in the back of her mind, doubt gnawed at her. Could love truly defend them against this? Through the fray, she caught glimpses of Kale battling fiercely, his golden eyes ablaze with determination. Stay close, he roared, his voice echoing through the chaos, drawing her back to him. But before she could reach him, a rogue lunged from the side, teeth snapping dangerously close. Leora reacted instinctively, her wolfish nature surging forth as she tackled the rogue to the ground, teeth bared in a primal snarl. Leora! Kale called, his voice filled with an urgency that pierced through the chaos. With a mixture of fear and adrenaline, she fought, using every ounce of strength she possessed. She could feel the pack rallying around her, their loyalty uniting them against a common enemy. But the rogue she had pinned was strong, their struggle fierce, threatening to overwhelm her. Just as she felt herself slipping, Kale was there, his powerful form joining hers, the weight of his presence grounding her. Ivy got you, he growled, his voice filled with determination. With a swift movement, he dispatched the rogue, and together they rose, side by side, hearts pounding in unison. Leora looked into his fierce golden eyes, and in that moment she felt the bond between them solidify, a tether stronger than any threat they faced. Together, she breathed, the words laden with the weight of their connection. Always, he replied, fierce pride swelling in his chest as they moved forward, united against the oncoming tide of rogues. As the battle raged on, Leora felt a surge of energy flowing through her and newfound strength ignited by their bond. She fought with renewed ferocity, the love she felt for Kale transforming into something more powerful and unstoppable force. But the tides turned, the sheer number of rogues threatening to overwhelm them. Just as despair threatened to creep in, she caught sight of Mek, battling alongside his fellow warriors, determination etched into his features. A surge of hope coursed through her. Mek, the orc called, her voice cutting through the chaos. We need to rally together. Mek met her gaze, his expression fierce with resolve. We can do this, we fight for each other. With each word, the pack began to fall into formation, their unity strengthening. They fought as one, the connection between them solidifying as they pushed back against the rogue attackers. But in the midst of the battle, Alina appeared, her eyes wild with fury as she joined the fray. You think you can save what is lost? She taunted, her voice dripping with disdain. You were a fool to stand against me, Kale. Kale's eyes narrowed, the weight of her words cutting deep. This isn't tea about you, Alina, it is about the pack. You've each chosen betrayal over loyalty. Alina laughed, a bitter sound that echoed through the trees. Loyalty, you think they'll all follow a healer and an alpha who is too blinded by love to see the truth? In that moment, a new wave of rogues surged forward, their snarls filling the air. Kale growled, a deep rumbling sound that sent shivers down Leora's spine. This ends now. As the battle reached its crescendo, Leora felt a rush of magic coursing through her veins, a supernatural bond igniting her spirit. In a moment of clarity, she closed her eyes, reaching deep within herself to connect with the energy of the forest. Leora! Kale called,